It's very designed for what you do.
Yep.
Everyone has a different dry land. I don't ever see the sprinters. I wish, but I don't.
Don't worry, they wanna keep it that way, I'm sure.
They don't want to be doing my dry land, and I don't think that I could live through theirs either.
All right, well, welcome to this episode of Social Kick. I'm John Mullen. We have a partial crew because Mr. Brian Lundquist is feeling under the weather. Feel better be with Luke Paddington, and then World Championship bronze medalist and moving camera. If you're watching us online, Jillian Cox. How you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited to get to know you and chat a little more. But first, as many of our guests know, we ask our audience if they have any questions for us at Social Kick Swim on Instagram and YouTube. So we'll start off with some of our audience questions. So our
Awesome.
first question from Alex Ozarski wants to know how many pumpkin pies can you eat in a day?
What?
Pie, not pieces, pies.
Yeah, this is one of my friends. We over Thanksgiving break, Costco sells these amazing pumpkin pies, the best huge pumpkin pie. My friends make fun of me because I may have eaten 3 before World Championships by myself.
Pies?
Yeah, the entire thing.
Well, do you have it plain? Do you have some whipped cream? What's the go-to?
It depends. Sometimes if you're not, like, totally feeling it, you gotta go plain, but, like, if you're really hungry and planning on eating a big piece, definitely whipped cream for sure.
All right, now we know 3 pumpkin pies. All right, next question. We had 2 people ask the same question. Austin Rowe.ss and Madison Thorpe both want to know what's your favorite MGK Machine Gun Kelly song?
Probably Pressure, that's the one I always listen to hype myself up for my races. I've been listening to that every single meet, so definitely that one.
All right, there we go. This next one from I believe UT swimmate, her swimmer teammate Brooke Adams.
Mhm.
She wants to know, do you like Chris Giuliano?
Is
We
that
love
beef?
having Chris.
Okay, good.
Love having him. He's amazing. He's so sweet, and the entire team is, like, obsessed with him being here. Like, he's the kindest. He talks to all of the girls. Like, he's amazing. We love him.
There you
How
go.
is he handling the whole playoff scene when Texas was in there, Notre Dame was in there? Where was he? What was he? Was he talking about that?
I didn't hear him talking about
Yeah.
it, but we were all talking about it for him for sure. We were
Okay.
like, "Oh, who is he gonna root for?"
Exactly.
Yeah, I think any college team would be pretty happy with Chris joining the team, to be
Yeah,
honest. You know,
yeah.
he's pretty good, I guess.
He's alright, I
He's all right.
guess.
He's looking tall. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could probably take him in a 50 for sure, so
All right,
Sure.
this next one is from Reikley, also or at Reikley at Instagram. He has some great technical tips. It's Dax Hill, UT alumni. He wants to know Austin natives win big swimming for UT. What wins will you add to the elite tradition?
Man, I don't know.
I,
I'm hoping to see NCAAs to add something. I don't know. Let's see.
well, let's get into it. You know, you're really right into gear here at Texas. 2 PBs, 2 team records. I guess how's the season been going for you?
It's been amazing, honestly. I really enjoyed my time. I what everyone's been asking and talking about. I've been swimming with the men's team now, so I know
Wow.
people were already starting to talk about that. I've been training under Eric Posgay this season.
Yeah. Nice.
He's amazing. It's paid off a lot. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. He's an amazing distance coach, probably the best ever,
Wow.
and I've been seeing a lot of results already, so I love it.
Have you worked with Eric at the OTC before coming to Texas, or did you have any relationship with him before?
Yeah, he was a junior national team director when I was on the team, and we went to Pan Pacs together, and we crossed over paths. I loved him since the day I met him, so now being coached by him is awesome.
So last night, Katie raced Bobby in a mile.
Yep,
Your training of David and Rex and all those boys. Do you have any situations when you have to get up and hammer down against one of those guys?
all the time.
And and
And, I mean, they'll beat me. It's pretty but I'm getting closer, a lot closer, and, we go on the men's intervals. There's no changing it
wow.
because there's a woman in the pool. So, at first, it was a lot of swimming straight. There was a practice where I didn't see the wall for an entire 8K. I swam the entire time.
Mhm.
Now, I'm making the intervals more often, and it's getting closer to them, I like to think, but they've got me.
So I swam with a lot of great women on my club team. Jenny Forrester, she won the U.S. Open in the I think 400 IM when she was like 14 way back when. We used to do like 1,000 IMs, and I'm
Mhm.
sure I would drive her crazy because she would just smoke me until freestyle. Then I would pass her up at the very end. So are there
Yeah.
any things that guys do that just drive you nuts? Because you can tell they're
Well,
kind of sandbagging part of it, but they don't want to let you beat you.
sometimes because it's a lot easier for them to make hundreds on a minute is pretty easy for them. Hundreds on a minute for a girl is not as easy. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, why are we on the wall and I'm hyperventilating and you're fine? Like sometimes that I'm kind of like, this isn't fair, but it's fun. It's fine. They have an I wouldn't say it's an easier time, but definitely I've had to work my way up.
Would you credit that to I was gonna ask you, why are you swimming so fast in yards in the last couple of months? Would you credit Eric, the training environment, the Texas environment, all that just for a refreshing change for you? That's helped?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm getting to be trained by the 3 best coaches.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm under Bob, Eric,
yeah,
and Carol,
yeah,
so I took everyone's best qualities and put them together in me, so it's been amazing. I do mornings with Bob sometimes, and then I do night practices, distance practices with Eric,
nice,
and Carol comes in and we
yeah,
talk all the time. We're on the same page about everything. She coaches some practices, like if I'm going in with the women's practice times and stuff. So I think that the environment is amazing. Coaching staff has just been huge for me, honestly. Like that's been game
yeah.
changing. They're just so good. So
Yeah, when Bob took the position, online obviously went crazy, and one of the talking points was like, "Oh, how is Carol and Bob gonna work together? Is Bob taking over the women's program?" So could you
yeah.
talk more just about kind of like you said, you're working with all of them, what that relationship is like with you on deck and being on the women's team?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering the same thing too, how two amazing coaches were going to
Mhm.
work together, honestly. Uh, it's amazing. They work so well together. Carol was very open at the beginning of the year, like, I think that training under Eric will be the best thing for you, and I really think that he can get you to what you wanna do, and that's what we're gonna do. So she was, like, totally on board, like, "We're gonna do whatever is best for you." She's still coaching Emma Sticklin and everyone, like, they're all doing amazing as well, but for distance freestyle, it's a little more specific, and Eric is great at that, and Bob and Carol met and decided that that was what was best for me, and that's what we did.
Yeah, it's always funny. It's like, God, how will two of the best coaches do on a college program? I wonder how it will work out. It's like, hey, they're like two of the best ever. They're both
I know.
veterans. I don't know. We can get overcomplicated a lot of times.
I think that you can't walk into a better situation. I walked into 2 Olympic coaches. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more, so I'm happy with it, and they get along really well. There's no, like, clashing or anything. They're great. They're awesome.
All right, so I'm gonna paint a scenario for you because coaches coach in different ways, and then
Mhm,
one coach would coach different athletes in different ways. So I may coach John one way, I may coach you a different way,
mhm.
etc. But here's a scenario: you're doing 2100s on a minute, and you're just touching the wall, and you're going, you're working your butt off, you're making the interval, and your heart rate's 200, and you're working. Who is the coach who stands up and just looks at you like this?
Eric.
Okay.
Definitely
And who's the
Eric.
coach is like, get going, what's wrong with you? You can do better. Like constructive criticism.
Yeah. Eric Eric
Eric?
has 2 daughters. He's very sweet. He's not gonna like, if I'm not having a best practice, I'm more upset about it than he is, you know?
Okay.
He'll just be like, sometimes you'll look up and he's giving you that, and you're like, "Oh, no. Oh, no." But we both are on the same page of, like, this isn't going super well, and he'll just kinda stand there and look at you.
Isn't that the worst feeling when you think you're doing really well and you're charging, you happen to glimpse your coach, you're like, oh shit. Like you can
Yeah.
tell by just how they're standing there, like, I guess it's not as well as I thought.
Yeah, I'll have sometimes where I'll, like, open turn and we'll make eye contact, and he's giving me that look, and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna go."
Has the training, what about the training besides being really, really intense and different levels that's different for you? The program different, the kind of sets you're doing, or the focus on some of the technical stuff of the undies or what have you? What's changed besides that? Yeah.
Everything, actually.
Really?
On my club team, I was doing around 6 would be, like, a really long, crazy amount of yards for us. We're
Yeah.
usually doing under 6. Now we're always over 6. Mornings are sometimes 8, so we're doing more from 7 to there were some 9 over winter training that may have
In
almost
2
killed
hours,
me.
yeah? In
Yeah.
2 hours?
We hit 8 one time in an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half, and that was the practice where I was just
Yeah.
swimming the entire time. But, everything's been different. My training is different. I worked with a personal trainer, and he was
Mhm,
great, but it's really nice being in a gym with, people to push you. I've really enjoyed
mhm.
that. I did online school for all of high school, so
Oh,
going to class and everything was a big change. Everything changed for me, which was kind of
mhm.
shocking at first, but I've been really happy with it.
Yeah, you took the wind out of the sails of my question. I was going to say, being an Austin native, obviously the swimming's different, but other factors are the same. But going from remote learning to in person, that is a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like overall the transition to college has been pretty smooth, or it's been quite a bit and pretty overwhelming?
Definitely in the first 2 weeks, it was super overwhelming, but we have so many people to help you academically and with, swimming and everything, so I think it was a lot right at first, but everyone helping so much. We have required study hall and everything. We have tutors, everything. Like that was super helpful. They made it much smoother, and now I'm in a way more comfortable position.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we gotta get Bob back on and ask him this because I know Bob is a big proponent of filling the bucket during age group swimming. At least he was a while ago, and that was kind
Mhm.
of a talk that was circulating online a lot. You build up the volume, and then you refine with speed. But it seems like a lot more club swimmers are doing lower volume, maybe working on speed, and then they're getting and having a lot of success with Bob in particular, and they're doing more volume, shorter rest, and things like that. Do you feel like, it's worked well for you to kinda be building up volume as you get more mature and older?
I think for sure. I know some age groupers do 9,000, 8,000 yards, which is I think is crazy because that ruins their shoulders. My club coach was very adamant about that. Like, yeah, you can swim distance, but you can also practice shorter distances to do that. So it's I can swim for longer. I mean, distance freestyle isn't the nicest on your shoulders, but I'm grateful that he did it like that because now also the more yards I do, the faster I can get. So there's still room for me to grow later in my career.
Tell us something that you learned that you didn't realize. Growing up in Austin, you're a fan of swimming. You knew the Texas tradition. You knew the people who are Texas. You knew the this. You knew the stuff. You walked on deck and you're like, "Oh, I didn't realize." What about the Texas Longhorn tradition?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, we sing "The Eyes of Texas Are Upon You" after every meet. I did not know
Oh,
this. That was, shocking to me at my first meet. They were like, "Alright, let's go talk to
Well,
the
you can do it now
stands."
for us. We'll listen
yeah.
to
What is
you.
it? I don't know
Right.
what it is.
It's right, okay,
Yes,
so you're gonna
complete
have to come
truth.
to a meet.
Yeah.
You're like, "We got our big meet coming up." No, was that next weekend, right?
Yeah, next week, you can come and check us out. I'm sure that we do it every time, so we'll definitely sing it for you. But yeah, that was like they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go sing." I was like, "Sing? What?"
But don't you have to learn how to dance as well? I think Kelly told us that. Pash told us that. And when do you get your Stensons? Do you guys get your Stensons and stuff?
Our what?
Your hats. Is
Oh,
it?
I mean, I've
Yeah.
already had a cowboy hat, but,
Yeah.
we haven't really used okay, I knew about the line dancing thing, and I
Yeah.
prepared. I
Okay.
learned, but we haven't done that yet this year, but we're trying to bring it back. We gotta teach all of the freshmen, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I know them, but the girls from New Jersey and Florida, they don't know it, you know?
Yeah, when are you gonna get your, Longhorn tattoo on you as well? When is that part of the tradition?
You gotta
I
win an
don't know.
NCAA championship,
Oh, okay, that's
Oh,
that's
okay.
how it works.
obviously.
And then boom, right on the forehead.
That's exactly what I was thinking,
Right, in that
actually.
MGK style, right? You can, like, have it up there.
It should be.
Oh, I like that. That's really yeah, I should definitely tell the team about that. They'll love that.
Oh, I can imagine. We mentioned a little about the upcoming meet. This will probably come out after, the dual meet, but I'd love to hear, I guess, your thoughts on just dual meets in college swimming and, how you think it is progressing with Texas kinda leading the way with some innovative items.
I thought that competing all of the time was gonna throw me off.
Mm,
and I ended up loving it. I think
mm,
that getting up, putting on a tech suit, going and racing, and knowing things I can fix for the future and
yeah.
invite and stuff, I think having a bunch of racing opportunities has been one of the best things for me because kick count is different, stroke is different, everything is different when you put on a tech suit and you have adrenaline in you. So it's been really
Yeah.
nice to get up and race anyone and be like, this is what needs to be fixed and fixing it for the next meet. I think that's actually been great.
I was gonna say, describe your stroke difference from a tech suit to in practice because you have a very particular stroke. It's almost like Titmus's stroke. It's not loping at all. Do you feel different when you put does it change at all, or is it pretty consistent? Your style of some say your 800 stroke, your 800.
My stroke doesn't change as much by stroke count, but more by feel. It'll just be very
Mm,
long. I'll
mhm,
feel choppy when I'm super tired. I will start like my elbows will get higher and I won't be reaching as much. I've noticed that a lot. So when I put on a tech suit and I feel like a little bit better, my hips are obviously up a little bit more
yeah,
and I feel way longer and like I'm catching way more water. So it's been nice comparing the two because it's
yeah.
very different from a practice suit to a tech suit.
Are you doing much IM training? I know you have a very strong 400 IM, but it sounds like freestyle is getting dialed in.
Yeah. No, I try and stay away from the IM as much as I can. Don't let Eric know about that 400 IM time. I don't know who told y'all about that. We need Eric not to know about that. I'm just I walked in and I was like, "Yeah, I can only do distance freestyle. Like, let's really just focus on that." And we have. So
Come,
let's
come
keep
on
that
now.
one.
Eric's got like every 18 and under time memorized, doesn't he?
I know.
He's the junior national coordinator. He had those times all locked in.
I'm sure he does, but he just took Kate Hurst is the other girl training with the distance group with us, and
Okay.
he just took her the other day to do some IM, and I was like, "Oh, just take her, just her."
All right. So those who are listening, this is a Saturday midday. You just came back from Saturday practice after. So you did 5 solid days of work. It's Saturday morning practice at Texas. What hurt this morning, and what impressed you this morning's practice?
This morning's practice was a suit up, our second suit up of this week, which is new. We
Yeah.
usually only do one. This morning we did 5 100s on 110, holding as fast, close to 500 pace. We wanted a 500, and we wanted the first one to feel like a morning prelim 500. It
Mhm.
hurt. It was fine. I went 53s to 52s,
Yeah.
low
Wow.
53, high 52, and then we did 500. Then we warmed down for 15-ish minutes, did it again, interval on 120. That one
Mhm.
held 52s the entire time, which was pretty happy with that. And then warmed down for 15 more minutes, did 450s fast on 50. It's a little too sprinty for me, but I was like 24 high to 25 low.
How did it feel? Did it feel hard, or it just didn't? It felt like and didn't feel smooth.
I would say the first 500 definitely felt like a prelims 500. Had to work
Yeah.
for it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warmed it down. The second 500, it felt pretty good actually. It felt way smoother. I needed those 5 100s to get up and go for
To
a
get
second
going.
one for sure.
Or
Yeah,
distance people.
I was gonna
yeah.
say, yeah, Luke just shared what his boy in Trinidad, Dylan Carter's doing, where he does what, a 15-meter off the block and takes 15 minutes rest?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I
Dylan had a
wish.
practice. He had a practice this morning. You want to hear what the practice was? Dylan Carter. 200 warm up, long course. And then he did 2 rounds of a 15, 25, and 35 meter with 15 minutes rest in between. And then no warm down out.
That's so lucky. I can't. Like, I know that's what sprinters have to do for training, but sometimes my warm up is 3,000. So I'm like, this is not fair.
Well, what did you learn this morning, either about yourself or from your coach or from seeing a fellow teammate? What did you learn?
I learned that 52 seemed a lot. It sounded super hard when Eric told
Yeah.
me to go 52s. It sounded really fast, and then when I went them, I was okay. Yeah, it gave me a good confidence boost. I learned that a lot.
John, that's a 525, by the way. 52s. Heads up.
Okay, piecing that
Four,
together
I'm
for
sorry.
me.
Sorry, 425.
I was gonna say, she's way
425.
faster than that.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, 425.
5. Oh my god.
425. I was thinking 5 100, so 425.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking of that set, or talking about that set, any of your teammates do anything that stood out to motivate you this morning?
Yeah, Lily Nesty came in, swam with us this morning, and she ripped out a 23 on the first 50 that we did.
Ooh.
That's my 50 freestyle time, shaved and tapered. So then she was 23 and then 24s for the rest of the three. I was incredibly impressed by that.
And what does the rest of the weekend hold for you? You're just gonna have a good meal and take a nap? What are you guys doing for it? What do you normally do on a Saturday afternoon and Sunday?
My friends and I usually take a 3 to 4 hour nap on Saturday after practice. We do team D after our lift or team breakfast, sorry.
Okay.
And then take our really long nap and then maybe go play pickleball. We're big pickleball fans. We're just in a pickleball competition this week. And then watch a movie, and that is our ideal Saturday.
Well, be
Dr.
safe with
John
that
PPT, is
pickleball.
that allowed? Is that
Be
allowed?
safe with pickleball. I know you swimmers out there. I could see.
Yeah.
I'm worried. In all
Yeah.
honesty, a lot of lateral movement.
That was our lift trainer's first question. Did anyone get hurt? We were like, nope, we're good. Everyone's good.
Exactly. It's getting close to taper time. You're
know.
probably a few months away, right? Distant summer, you get about 3 days taper.
Yeah, probably 2.
Okay, yeah. 3's a little overshooting it a little bit.
3. I mean, let's not get crazy here.
You see, I don't believe it's the activity. I think it's the mindset of the swimmer. We can go and play ping pong and get injured because we're so competitive. We do whatever it takes. I'm going to beat you, Jillian. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how old I am, how fat I am. I'm going to beat you. But I will kill myself.
You should see us. We are so competitive. We take it so seriously. I mean, the walk home sometimes will be silent if we are upset with the results. I mean, we take pickleball just as seriously as we take NCAA swimming.
Well, let's hear it. Who's the best UT pickleball player?
I don't think the best on the team.
Yep.
Bar's pretty low.
Yeah. We understand that. We're putting this on a, we're scaling this.
I don't know. I feel like our best, Emma Sticklin was pretty good. I don't know. I think Campbell Chase is my partner, and I think that we were pretty good. We moved on the furthest in our competition the other day, so I think it's us.
There you go. Hey, on a good trajectory here.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, outside of pickleball goals, I guess, what were goals for yard season heading into this year? And how do you go about goals? Are you like a time-based person? Because already hitting some PBs and all that, I could see, you having to update goals maybe along the way.
Yeah. I mean, my first goal was to break the 1,000 freestyle team record, which was Erica Sullivan's.
Yeah.
She's amazing. So obviously it was kind of, I looked at the record boards every single day when I trained on my club team. That was obviously always the standard for me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to break that. I really wanted to break, I just barely broke 60 minutes last season in the mile. I was like 15:58 or something. So I wanted to be way under that because I knew I could be better there. And the 500 freestyle, I wanted to be 4:34. So I had to write some new goals after invite. Went through and did kind of everything I wanted to there. So had to reassess actually.
Well, I guess what's one thing with the rest of the yard season that we can, look out for? Could be individually, could be as a team. What are you thinking?
Definitely my number one for the team is to have a great NCAAs. I just want to have a great team environment. And I really think that we can put on a great show for people with how fast we've been swimming at these little meets. And I don't think people understand how little everyone else is tapering. So already throwing down these crazy fast times, I think that our team is going to be really, really good at NCAAs. So I'm excited for that. And big goal, maybe we all win SECs. Let's not jinx anything, but that would be awesome. Our first time in the SEC, we kind of want to get off to a good start,
All right.
Yeah, Emma, 200 fly, 100 fly. She's been wrecking this year, huh?
Oh my gosh, she's incredible.
150 free on relays. I'm like, what the heck?
Her 2 IM. Yeah, her 2 IM top time in the NCAA still, maybe. I think so. It's amazing. She's so good at everything she does.
All right, so I got a question about 2025, but based on 2024, you got arguably your 3 most important races of 2024. You got thirds, 2 of them, not the thirds you want.
Yeah.
So if those are listing trials, especially the 800, in my opinion. But then your last third was a freaking individual bronze medal at the World Championships. So
now,
I mean
that's like
how do those three races help you now get up for when you have to face the starter at NCs in the final of the 500?
I honestly, this may be the craziest answer you'll ever hear to Olympic trials, but I am so grateful for it,
Mhm.
honestly. I'm glad. I think that people become content after making their first Olympic team. And I was never even focusing on making Paris. I was young, like 18, whatever, yeah. I was more
Mhm.
focused on LA, you know? I got lucky in 2023. I dropped a lot of time and made it. Then I was like, I got to take this opportunity when I have it. Paige Madden is incredible. She got me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it happens. But
yeah.
I think that I went into college with I went in with more of a hungry mindset, I feel,
Mhm.
and I wanted to be so much better, and I didn't ever wanna feel like that again, and
Mm,
so put my head back down, started training, and I think that it was honestly the best thing for me.
that's awesome.
I think I needed that.
That's awesome.
When you were watching the Olympics, were you like, man, I would have gotten like seventh here?
And yeah, when
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, I'm like, I
watching
should be in this top eight,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's hard. I think that Olympic trials is harder than the Olympics. The stress and everything
Yeah.
is insane, and the US is stacked in everything.
Yeah.
There is no easier event to make it in. And also with Ledecky, there's kind of one spot. So
Yeah.
it's harder. It's hard. Yeah.
But game seems game. I'm sure Katie's giving you some talks or some advice and stuff when you, especially when you're younger. Anything that you've picked up from her personally or just by seeing her race next to you?
Just I mean, she's a beast. It
Yeah.
also I like what I've learned from her most is she can just go fast at every meet. I've really liked that. I was a big taper swimmer before, or I thought I was, and
Yeah.
seeing her go fast every single time she got up on the block, I was like, I want to be like that too. Like I want to be able to rip mid-season, end of season, go back to back from like a trials to a worlds or whatever. So
And at Worlds, like Luke said, getting bronze there. Talk us through kind of that experience and some of the short course meters. I'm sure a little bit of a, different feeling after doing so much yards training.
I think it was very helpful doing yards training on my club team. We would swim in the long course pool more often. So I think it was good that I was getting more short course training. I don't I swam that mile in the prelims. So that was really hard to come back from is
Yeah.
I don't know what everyone in the final is going to
Sure.
do. And it's short course meter, so I have even less of an idea of what anyone else is gonna do. And I don't know if anyone saw this, but I did a flip turn as my finish in the mile in the
Oh,
morning. I messed up my counting, and I heard the girl next to me's bell, thought it was mine, did a flip turn, and I was like, "That felt like a mile, but I'm not sure." So I just, like, stopped, and then I couldn't even be happy about the time because I was like,
yeah,
I
just
just
like
did that
head
on a
down.
world yeah, I was like, "I gotta get out of here. This is so embarrassing." And
Raise your
then
hand if you've miscounted a 200. It
I'm
happens.
guilty. I'm
Yeah.
I mean,
guilty.
in practice, probably.
No,
In a
in a
meet,
race,
a
I know. You
200 in
like
a
you
meet.
come in, you're like, wait, where am I? Shit.
Yeah,
Okay, we're good.
yeah. Oh, no, that happens all the time.
Okay. Well, who was it? Was it who was the swimmer at ISL that miscounted? Was it the 200 or was it the 400? You know
I
what I'm
would,
talking about, Luke?
yeah,
I'll have to
I don't
fact
remember.
check on that. You guys can let us know. But yeah, miscounts happen for sure. And it's better to do what you did instead of getting out at the 1450, right?
Yeah,
That would
100%.
be way worse. Or touching, looking around. Oh,
I know, I did it, and I went and talked to Bob, and he was, what was that?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm so sorry."
like, can we talk about other parts of the race?
Yeah. He was like, "That probably added, like, a good 2 seconds because he makes fun of how bad my turns are, and so he was like, "Man, probably would've been under because that was, like, a 2-second ad just in that flip turn." I was like, "Oh, okay."
What's your favorite race? And call it short course, meter, short course, yards, long course. Call it 5, 8,000 mile, 1,500. What was your favorite race personally? You like, oh, I love this race.
I love the 500 freestyle. Short
Okay.
course, it's
Mhm.
amazing. It's so quick. It's over so fast, and I'm, like, not terrible at it.
No, it's not,
Spoken
no.
like a true distance swimmer. It's over so fast.
If it's this year especially, Eric is magical because the 500 freestyle feels so fast now. I'm like, "That's it? It's over? It's amazing."
Is the 500 a sprint for you? Like, are you
Yeah.
more or less sprinting from when you hit the water?
Yeah, I mean, my definition of sprint is different than everyone's, but
Sure, yeah,
that is a
yeah.
sprint for me for sure.
Yep, sprint with breathing, right? That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
So you're not doing a Rex Mauer coming back the last 100 and what did Rex come home in? It was ridiculous. 40.
It was insane.
47,
Insane.
yeah, 40, yeah.
I
That's
I
supposed to
could
lay on.
never.
Yeah.
He did it in his mile too. Did
Yep.
that crazy last 100 in the mile. It was insane.
Save
Do
up
you hit-
Sammy. You guys calling him that in practice?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Some people make fun of him. I can hear them like, "Oh, in this last 200, are you gonna go like 138 or whatever?" I don't know. Usually, I'm gasping for air. I can't really hear the commentary as much. Yeah.
Who is the leader on deck? Male or female as an athlete? Who's the leader?
When I train with the women's team, Olivia McMurray is the big
Really?
women. Yeah, I think that she's a captain. We don't do captains, but she is the hype woman. And then for the men's team, I swim with David Johnston a lot, and he hypes us up. And Jackson Huckabee, he
Yeah.
gets everyone going and pushes us through. So
And when you're having a hard practice, are you the type of swimmer that likes a teammate kind of, keeping it light, or someone that's pushing you, like verbally pushing you, or just no talking? Let's just, have our silence together and deal with it.
like, I prefer to be silent, but when I hear the guys be like, "Oh my god, that was so fast," or something, I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, that makes me feel a little bit better now, It helps. It helps.
All right. So talking about David Johnson, when he set the American record in the 800 at a meet in Australia, he double breathed going into each wall. In our notes here, she breathes to both sides, shorter stroke, but kind of like Titmus, no loping, but breathes to both sides. Is that explain to me your breathing pattern and ideas behind your breathing?
There's not really much of a breathing pattern. I like to breathe to both sides. I feel very comfortable breathing to
Yeah.
both. When I'm not tapered as much, I've realized I like to breathe to one side more, I think. But when I'm tapered, I breathe a little bit to both, see where the competition is. And if someone's really in my face, then I'll breathe to that side just to keep an eye on them. So
Like within a 25, you'd breathe both sides, or would you breathe to your right and then flip and then breathe to your, you know what I mean? Like by 25. Or
Yeah.
just breathe, like looking one side and you flip. How do you change it up?
No one else
Depends.
does that. Just Zalin does it like that. He's the only
Yeah,
goofball
Zalin does
that's
it.
breathing right going down one way, left
that's
the
crazy.
other way.
Yeah, I'll dive in and I'll be like, okay, let me check out what's going on over here. Let me check out what's going on over here. And then I'll just keep an eye on everyone around me. I don't know. There's like no pattern to it. I just like to look around. I get bored in the mile, so I kind of just like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, who's cheering? Oh, who's in the stands?"
I'm so glad to hear that from you because yes,
Who's in the
daydreaming in a
stands?
mile.
It's so boring. I'm so bored. And like the first 500 too, especially when Eric is like, "Don't go crazy on the first 5." I'm like, I gotta find something else to do. I gotta look around.
Do we think Ledecky's looking in the stands in her mile?
That's probably the difference between Ledecky and I.
All I'm saying, that and some turns might be a difference.
Those turns, big on that.
Are you doing anything to, obviously, I'm sure you are, but I guess what are you doing to work on those turns? Is it, working on the skill, or do you think it's more just like being consistent with it throughout a long practice?
Being consistent with it through a long practice, because the issue isn't the turn. There's good technique on the turn. They just get slow and tired. And the turn isn't as much as my issue as I pop up. If you've ever watched me swim, I come to a halt. I'm trying to work on that right now, but I become so desperate for air. I don't know. I'm like trying to fix it, and the coaches, every time I see them, like there's the paper against the head or the head shake, and I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, then swimming without turns, aka open water. Any interest in that at all? Open
I've
water?
thought about it. I just don't think I'm brave enough, honestly.
Brave enough.
Yeah,
If
I think if someone
I-
touched me, I'd be scared.
Yeah.
Or
I was gonna
something.
say, you're mentioning looking at other people and getting in there, some full contact swimming. I was about to ask the same thing, Luke. So yeah, I'm also surprised that you're like,
Yeah, I think if something touched me, that would be my last open water race, I fear.
like a human or an animal.
Either
Both.
seaweed, oh my gosh, anything, I would be out of there.
All right. So
Oh,
you're 1,000 into your mile, and it's so much pain. You can't feel your fingers. Are you closing your eyes, and are you just thinking of something else, singing a song? Like, what are you doing to get over that pain?
I have to think about what I'm doing or I'll slow down. If I start getting
Mhm.
too deep into thought, I will slow down.
Right.
Racing Aurora Roguer from Stanford
Yeah.
at Invite was
Yeah.
perfect for me because I know that she has a crazy back half. So I was
Mhm.
kind of just trying to run from her for the last 500. And I was just, where is she? What is she doing the entire time? And that was really ideal for me.
yeah, you had some great races with Aurora, and the 500 is going to be an interesting one at NCs. You know, if I think a lot depends on who's going to swim it, particularly like the old Sandpiper girls. Like, is Grimes doing the 500? Is Bella swimming the 500? So I guess when you're getting yourself in the mindset for that race, are you going to be worried about other people? I mean, you mentioned looking at other people while you swim, or are you going to try to stay more in your lane?
I stay in my lane. I mean, I'll look around for sure, but I'm not necessarily worried. Not in like the crowd isn't or
Yeah.
race isn't going to be the fastest NCAA 500. I feel like in a couple years, but I I just like to do my own thing. I can't control what anyone else does, and if I can impress myself, then I would take that for sure.
So what's going to impress yourself this year?
Breaking 4:30.
Boom, there you are.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Boom. Twos,
what
baby.
do we
I
say?
said it.
424, 425? Isn't that what you
Ooh.
said earlier, Luke?
If she's going
Adding up the splits?
52s, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
if I can get on
53's
those
mids.
52s.
Yeah. I mean, so you're
Luke, how
gonna
far
swim
can
the
you
eight.
swim in in 424? How many yards can you swim right now in that distance?
How much equipment
200?
kind of wear can I
300?
wear? How much
You
equipment
can
can I wear? Hey, so you're gonna swim the 800 free, the 5 free, the 2 free, and the mile at SECs and NCs, yeah? You probably gonna
800.
swim that.
What
I
do you?
not 800.
Oh, and a
I
800
want
relay.
800 free relay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
ooh,
yeah,
I don't know. Our team is pretty stacked in the 200 freestyle.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
gonna have to work my way onto that one for sure. But 500 mile, 200 freestyle will unfortunately probably be my third event. I don't know. Coaches are still up in the air, but yeah.
Yeah, 4 a.m. You asked for it earlier, right?
Oh my,
That's the
we
other
need to
event that
not
day.
speak this into existence.
That's
How
on the
how
same day, yeah.
important I was gonna ask how important is your dive to you? Because you've been practicing your dive on your couch since you're 2 years old. How important is your dive?
Not important. It's just how I get in the pool. It's just how I can start doing what I'm actually good at.
Yeah, we'll have to post this video. Is your starting style the same as this
It's
old
probably the
video
same
that Luke found online?
Oh,
on your
no.
Instagram.
Oh, the video of me on the couch?
Yep,
Yep,
exactly. Same
yep. Has
technique,
it
I
changed?
think.
Has it
Yeah.
improved?
Hey, that's me trying to be my sister. I was like, I wanna be just like her. I did the dive, and I know that I was like, nailed it for sure.
People are gonna be using this for technique in the future, I know it.
Yeah, and, the dive, it really hasn't changed. It's still just a fall. I just kinda just get in there.
Alright, so we gotta work
Uh,
on starts, we gotta work on turns, maybe on breathing. I think there's a lot of room for growth, is what I'm hearing. What do you think, Luke?
that's why she's where she is. She's with the best.
Yeah.
So you got them doing. What who are you when you don't swim? Besides a pickleball beast, are you into music? Are you art? Do you love reading? Who are you,
Honestly,
Jillian?
big on sleeping. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
really once I find something that I really like, I'm just kind of fixated on it, and since starting college, I feel like I've loved swimming more than ever, and I'm kind of fixated on it in school. So now I just really enjoy doing recovery and sleeping
yeah.
and eating, and my friends, we come and watch movies and TV shows all the time, and that is our ideal day, is just relaxing, honestly.
So, how many hours a night are you getting for sleep, and are you, measuring it with, like, a Whoop, or what type are you doing any of those, methods for assessment?
I just go to bed as soon as I'm done with all my homework,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I'll usually go to bed around 9 p.m. for morning practice and then
Okay.
probably like 9:15. I don't know. Apparently last night everyone was watching a movie while I was already asleep at 8:30. So I don't know. I can sleep through anything apparently because they were talking to me. They told me, but I was sound asleep.
Yeah, I think
Mariah,
recovery is becoming more and more important.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure when Luke swam, it was never discussed. And when
Oh,
I swam, it was minimally discussed. It was more of
yeah.
like oh, you do more, you want to, burn the candle, try to do everything. So, is that something that's discussed more on the team and in the college setting about recovery and getting sleep?
Yeah, for sure. Bob tells us, like, you're gonna need to get as much sleep as you possibly can. Kara will tell us to utilize everything. I mean, Texas Athletics has amazing things for you: compression, massage therapist, cupping, everything. I just try to take advantage of everything the most I can. I also think that that has been huge, and a
Mhm.
reason I've been dropping so much time is because my recovery this year has been better than ever, which has been super helpful for my body after doing 9K practices.
Yeah. And I was talking to Mariah Denigan from Indiana, and she's saying that her resting heart rate one time was what, John, 39? It got down to because of the whoop. It was like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was
There was
insane.
debate over this online. People said
Yeah, there was.
it doesn't get that
But my
low or it
question
doesn't
is,
vibrate.
when I swam, that was the one thing we did measure, obviously, and we all do still is heart rate during practice, after heart rate, and we base sets on heart rate, etc. And it's how much does heart rate play in you? Like how accurate are you, and how often you check in your heart rate during sets, or do you just know it and you can predict? Oh, dude, that's a 205 for sure.
So that's actually funny. We a lot it plays a big part.
Yeah.
We have heart rate monitors that we wear during practice most
Mhm.
times, but the men can't wear them because they go in the suit of the women. So the women's
Yeah.
team has heart rate monitors. The men's team, Eric has us take it here, and
Yeah.
actually, our sets are written out with heart rate
Yep.
goals here.
Yep.
Ooh, heart rate
Yeah. Yep.
goals. And so it's a huge part. He'll have us take it after every single, almost everything we do. Tell him, let him know, make sure we're in the right zone. He uses it a lot.
John,
So,
I had a question though. What's the difference touching for an elite athlete like Jillian? She touches the wall, and by the time she waits, say 10 seconds, so a couple of seconds and then six, her heart rate already could drop 10 beats, right? Isn't it more accurate to
yeah.
check it while she's doing the actual activity? What do you think?
Or immediately upon touching, but
It's hard. Yeah.
it will increase, hit its max, and then stay elevated or even increase more with touching. I think the one
Yeah.
question I have, and you can ask Mr. Eric this maybe, is it looks like the heart rate on those practices is a range for everyone, but
Yeah.
people have different maxes. So let's say your max heart rate is 210 and you're
Mhm.
supposed to stay at, and this is for, a minute here, not for a 10-second interval.
Yeah.
And let's say Giuliano, his max is 190 and you're
Yeah.
supposed to be at 180. He's going to be closer to his max there. So I think there needs to be some more individualization based off of your HR max if we're going to be really being precise with it.
I mean, usually this specific set that I showed is distance group. We are all a lot more.
Yeah, all the
Unfortunately,
same.
we don't have Chris Giuliano who does the 50 and the 100 in our group. So yeah, his heart rate will be different, but I think there will be times when David and I drop the same heart rate to the coach and it'll be
Mhm.
like, "Okay, yeah, we're in the same exact same numbers we'll give." And it's, "Okay, yeah, we're on the same page." So, I think it's to distance group it's pretty similar.
No, definitely. Any other technologies you all are using at Texas? I know like EV, is it EvoGo or EV, like the hand force monitors is something that the UVA team is using a little more. Certainly underwater cameras are somewhat more common nowadays. Do you guys use much of that? And
No, I know,
okay,
like, distance group uses some, like, racks and stuff,
sure.
I don't but Eric and Bob are very
Yeah, yeah.
just swim, you can be good by just swimming, that's basically how it's been.
All right,
You hear that,
Julian. I
Luke? You
mean,
can be good. You just have to swim, Luke. Simple as that.
you can also be good without swimming. So
Good at what?
Right. And running?
relatively good. Yeah. Jillian, you can tell by John's answers and my questions to him. I have a question for you. What does DPT stand for? And those who are listening, that's next to Dr. John's name. What do you think DPT stands for?
I don't we usually say distance per, I was thinking it was distance per stroke, but that's not it, what is it?
Yeah, I'm a distance per technique expert. No, doctor of physical therapy.
Oh,
What are you getting
wow,
at here,
that's awesome.
Luke?
Yeah, so I was going to ask, what's the
Thank you.
rules? Do you have physios on deck? Do you have a masseuse on deck? Are you somebody who is like always going? Who on the team always does at the physio, always with a nagging injury, always out of practice? And who's in the team who should see a massager and was too stubborn to go get treatment? They're two types of people, right?
I that is true, I don't think that we have anyone who's, like, usually injured. Our people are on us. They'll be like, "You're coming in." If it starts looking real bad, you're gonna have to come in. And
Yeah.
the person who needs more, probably me. I think that my body sometimes during Christmas training, I thought I wasn't gonna live to the next practice. It became like, let's do the best training we can, and slowly throughout the week, it went to who can live to the end. That's how I was feeling.
All
When
right,
you
so
watch
you
the
couldn't.
go ahead, John.
Oh, go on,
Sorry.
Luke.
I was gonna say, when you watch the NBA, right? All the old guys, when they sit on the bench between games, they wrap these big ice packs around their knees, right? And it reminded me when I swam back in the day that all the physio's job was to do, sorry, no offense to students, fill up the big bags of ice and strap our shoulders and we just sit there when you practice. John or Jillian, is ice still a big part, like right after practice? And is that not healthy to be always
We
icing all the time? Yeah.
we use ice whenever we feel soreness or maybe it feels like an injury. I know sometimes I'll get out on it. That practice was really bad. My sores or my shoulders feeling a little sore. I'll
Yeah.
go strap some ice on.
Yeah.
But I don't do it every single day. I don't think it's necessary. But if there's
Yeah.
some inflammation in the spot I feel, I'll strap some ice to it and pray for the best.
Yeah, ice is a little mixed nowadays, Luke.
Mhm.
Things have changed where,
Yeah.
yeah, ice we think decreases, local inflammation, and inflammation is important for building strength and enhancing power of these areas that we're stressing a
Mhm.
lot. So
Mhm.
some people are really against ice for any situation unless you're injured. So I do think there is some people that believe not using ice nearly as much is important, so you can build strength and power without limiting the training effects that you're hopefully accomplishing. But if you're getting injured,
Yep.
then okay, maybe it's best to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, we're not like ice bath people. I mean, some people are. I'm not.
Come on, you're not doing the ice swimming? We were watching the world championships of Keaton Jones
I
breaking
saw
a
that
world record. Yeah.
I saw that video and I cannot
There's
imagine
something
something I
wrong.
would rather that
No.
I anything else but that.
I had really bad shoulders until I got into college, and I was always in a sling and bat. And solved the pain, but it kept happening. It's not until I went to the gym and I got stronger and I'm more balanced and just better posture, everything. What's your dry land like? How strong are you? How often are you guys work? Do you have time to do a lot of dry land? What's it looking like for you?
We lift 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not even close to the strongest on the team. Our sprinters are ridiculous. Um,
Mhm.
uh, we distance lift has a bit more reps and lower weight, and sprint has less reps and more weight.
Yeah.
I'm not super strong. Distance runners tend to be more lean anyways, but, yeah, we lift 3 times a week. It's very designed for what you do.
Yep.
Everyone has a different dry land. I don't ever see the sprinters. I wish, but I don't.
Don't worry, they want to keep it that way, I'm sure.
They don't want to be doing my dry land, and I don't think that I could live through theirs either.
So you mentioned not knowing if you're going to make it through winter training. What was the set that almost put you over the edge, or you were thinking, "Oh my god, I'm not going to make it"?
Yeah, every single there was a 10 400s, a
Okay.
Yeah.
long course. That one had me calling my mom. And then this set, I would say this was one of the hardest sets I've ever done. It was 8 250s on
Okay.
250, 4 white, chill,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And
Mhm.
then 4 pink, and then rest for 30 seconds and do 8 200s on 215, 4 pink, 4 red, and then 8 100s on 110, 4 red, 4 blue, which is
Blue.
just go as crazy as you can.
Oh.
Oh god, it was so bad.
Yeah, I see why you'd call your mom. You didn't just drive home after that and be like, "Yeah, this isn't for me."
There were some days that I thought about it, and there were some phone calls in the locker room like, "Mom, I can't do another day." Well, yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know the entire set from when you started with the white stuff? Did you know the whole thing? And are you the kind if so, are you kind of swimmer who are like, okay, I know what's coming, I need some reserves, or are you truly being honest on those pinks and stuff in the middle bits?
We do get the entire set at the beginning of
Yeah,
practice, so I did know what was coming for me, and
yeah,
I like to push super hard in the front. If you've ever watched
yeah,
my mile, I don't
yeah.
sit back in the front half, so
Oh yeah,
pushing the pink for me in the beginning is important for my training, so I
yeah.
kinda do have to push a little bit harder on that stuff, and just give whatever I have on this blue. Do whatever you can.
So you mentioned earlier also that you train with the guys a lot and that you're kind of catching up to them. Um, are there certain sets that you do better against the guys than other ones?
Anytime it gets over a 200, I tend to lose them a little bit more because their pace is very different and they'll just go. But I feel like around 200s when we're doing them at mile pace, we did a set the other day that was 200s at mile pace, and I feel like that one was pretty. When I say close, I'm like within 5 seconds. That's really what I mean.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah.
Can you kick overboard? Can you beat them overboard kicking?
No, I can beat some of them streamlined
Yeah.
on my back though when we
Oh,
do
okay.
kick like that. Yeah.
And have you ever got called out from an athlete for seemingly slacking, but they misunderstood? Like, do you get a lot of like again constructive criticism at all, or you're not that kind of athlete at all? You're the one who's like, Jillian, chill, calm down, we got it. Don't win warm up, we're good.
Yeah. Definitely I'm not a win warm up kind of person, but the guys are not calling us out for like chilling on anything because they know that we're battling to do every single set that they're doing. So I've never been called out for slacking or anything. I've been told a couple times like calm down, it's only round 1. But that's basically it.
There was a
All right.
set that we always did, John and Julian. It was a 30 100s and 140 heart rate set. It was a very classic set back in the day, and we were standards. And after the '96 Olympics, the Olympic bronze medalist in 200 freestyle woman, Marianne Limpert, came and was training of us. So we had all the guys, and there's Marianne next to us, and that made me work my butt off even more. I was like, I had to like it lifted the men's team having the women's there, and it was definitely my pride and machismo, and it was my immaturity back then, but it definitely lifts the guys big time. Do you get that from the guys? Do you get a good camaraderie? Because the male training is such a different environment to the women's training. Do they say, well done, Jillian, thanks, we needed that? Did you get good feedback from them?
I I don't know if they would admit it, but I think that they kind of use it because you don't want to be the one guy that gets beat by a girl, obviously. So I
Yeah.
think that they are pushing way hard, but I'm not gonna say I'm pushing David Johnston. He's an Olympian. He trains so incredibly hard. I'm
He's
not gonna say
insane.
that, but some of the other guys, I can tell that they're just trying to run from us sometimes.
He has
Well,
told us that he's trying to get them to do 100 hundreds on a minute, holding 54s, John. He wants Eric to do that again.
yeah. So
I think I'm
We're
gonna be sick that day.
no thanks, huh? What do you think you could go in 100 100s on, let's say, 110 interval? What do you think you could hold?
Oh, 110?
Yeah.
I think I could hold 56.
Ooh.
I think I could hold 56 to 57. I think that sounds like something I would hate, and then I would do it, and I would love it, I
Yeah.
fear.
So that's the type of swimmer you are. It's like you just like you're in your own head, or it's like, oh, this is gonna be horrible. Then you get done, and you're like, that. I'm glad I did that. That was
Yeah,
good. No.
yeah. We did this set the other day, and it was 10 200s, and I remember looking at the set, and I felt nauseous. I was like, "I'm gonna throw up. This is so bad. Nothing's even happened yet." And then I got out, and it was probably one of the best sets I've ever done, and I felt so happy with myself.
All right. Well, we're gonna finish up here with some rapid fire.
All right.
What's the hardest race in swimming?
4 a.m. or mile.
Olympic gold or world record?
Olympic gold for sure.
Do you pee in the pool?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. NCAAs this year, 500 women's free. How many are under 430?
Ooh, 3.
Going back to the pumpkin pie, how many calories do you eat in a day?
As many as I possibly can.
If you could get rid of one stroke, it's gone forever. Gone from IM, gone from swim meets, what would it be?
Breaststroke. I can't do it, and I don't understand it.
If you could change one rule in swimming, what would you change?
15-meter underwater rule.
So get rid of it completely?
Completely. Let them. Let's see how far they can go.
Who's weirder, sprinters or breaststrokers?
Breaststrokers. I
What's
can say
the-
that my roommate's a breaststroker.
There you go. What's the best race you ever saw live?
Live. I watched Ledecky go 8:06 in the 800 freestyle at UT. 8:04, something crazy like that, and I was, like, 11 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
If you had to get rid of one piece of equipment, never use it again, what would you pick?
Band.
Mm.
Yep.
Do you guys use tubes, or bands are the main like strap that you use if you're limiting your legs?
Bands. Yeah,
Bands.
it's
Yeah.
bands.
Okay. All right, last
Yeah.
one, and we've talked with Bob and a lot of UT people about it, but how often are you social kicking with Eric and the UT crew?
Yesterday we got to do a whole 400 social kick. That was
Woo!
I know. It was
Well
kinda
done, Eric.
crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. That was in our combined women and men's practice though, so it was a little bit of a treat.
There you go. Maybe that's the cheat. We just have to have more fully combined practices to get some more social kick.
I 100% agree with you.
All right, Jillian. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We're excited to see how the rest of NCAAs goes for you this year, and follow you throughout the rest of your career. Because, man, things are moving along once you get those turns and breathing and starts all figured out.
Got a lot of fix. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everyone. Well, that's this episode of Social Kick. See you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Hey everyone, thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this episode of Social Kick and you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. And we love talking swimming. We'd love to talk about swimming with you. So leave us a comment and we'll see you next time.